Thanks, guys. So there are just two. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Sheffield. Welcome to the Crucible. Welcome to the World Championship Final 2008. Snooker history is about to be made. Without any further ado, let's get the Essex boys on the bass. Please welcome a player having a simply phenomenal fortnight. His first career 147 on Tuesday. His first appearance in a major final. He's beaten two former world champions and Joe Perry en route to the big one. He's fearless, he's flying, he's Captain Fantastic, Ali Carter!
All the best, Ali. A great final.
And now, a genius of the modern game. He too nailed a 147 on Monday. He too beat a duo of world champions en route to the final, playing some of the best snooker ever seen in the semi-final against Stephen Hendry. Here comes the irreplaceable, the irresistible, two-time champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
What an atmosphere. Here we go. As ever, this final is best of 35 frames. Ronnie knows the ropes. He's bidding for his third world title. He's the overwhelming favourite in this match. But Ali has confounded expectations to be here. Could he surprise us yet again? Right, doors to automatic. Dennis Taylor, Clive Everton are strapped in, and I trust, gentlemen, you're all ready to go.
Indeed we are, Hazel. Good afternoon, everyone. Will this be contest, as we hope, or a coronation? Will O'Sullivan reproduce the form that Stephen Hendry described as close to perfection as you can get? Or Will Carter, who has expended an immense amount of nervous energy, has he got enough left to
Thank
make
you, ladies and gentlemen. The
a serious
first frame,
challenge?
it's Ronnie O'Sullivan to bet.
Yes, it's pretty warm today around the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield, and it's going to get pretty hot inside the Crucible.
O'Sullivan won't want to leave Carter a shot at the red to left corner.
And Stephen Hendry, when he was talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan's safety play, said it was some of the best he'd ever seen, and there's an indication of the strength with that safety shot, the white almost tight on the ball cushion.
85% of O'Sullivan's safeties throughout the tournament have prevented his opponent potting the next ball. Pot success rate for the tournament, 93% O'Sullivan, 90% Carter, who has confounded everybody this week with not only how well he has played, but how well he has sustained his form.
Well, this is a bit of a chance, but there's the long pot success rate. Carter at 67, Ronnie only at 57, but a lot of that was down to the earlier matches. In fact, at one stage Ronnie was down at 8%, believe it or not, but it is improving with each match.
When O'Sullivan attempted that long red, he had rather a lucky kiss. It looked as if he's going to leave the red over the right corner. Now, you don't often see that tournament highest break for both players, 147.
Well, it is a piece of history, isn't it, Clive? First time it's ever been done. So who is going to pot the first ball in this year's 888 World Championship? The atmosphere absolutely electric. Now that's the best safety shot so far. There's no easy escape to the balk area. There's a couple of reds he can get down off, but there's a lot he can cannon into there. Hawkeye shows you what Ronnie's looking at, and if you flick off one of those, you've got the one on the left that you could catch. He's playing this with a terrific amount of side to avoid canning into the reds. Let's watch the white. Oh, he caught the double kiss, but there's one possible red into the left corner, but that was a tough shot, played with lots of side to return the white. He can take this red in the left corner, and there is a possibility he could get on the black. I don't know what angle he has, but he needs to get the white somewhere near the other white there to leave the black on. Just depends on the angle he has.
One.
Very good.
Carter said last night, all I'm worried about is my own game, no one else's. He's going to try to play the balls and not his opponent, but it might not be that easy if O'Sullivan imposes himself.
9.
Well, he couldn't get a better chance. That longish red he knocked in, he played it perfectly.
$16. $70.
And they're sitting very nicely indeed, these reds. That's 3 reds, 3 blacks, but I'm not even going to say anything about reds
24.
and blacks here, Clive.
Well, it would be a bit much in the first
Foul.
frame of a world final, but
Alicante 24.
what
Ronnie
a
O'Sullivan.
catastrophe that was. Maybe grip the cue just a little tightly on the release, and that caused that jump.
It's so unusual to see that, but I think you got it right there, Clive. He was having to screw back off the cushion, and maybe just a little bit of tension causing him to grip it slightly tighter than he normally would.
Yes, if you grip it too tightly, you sometimes get a scooping effect. So that was a great chance for Carter, which yielded only 24.
He'll just be a bit concerned about the tip there, that he didn't take a little bit out of it, but I think he should be okay. He did have a quick look at it, and he's not concerned. Just an awkward angle. It must be dead straight, so the white would run into the middle pocket, so that's why. Well, you see, now he tried to make a bit of an angle there so as he could get out on the blue, but you've got to pop the object ball. That's the main part of the shot. He was trying to pinch quite a bit there, and the white jumped as well, so it wasn't a good contact.
Well, Carter can hardly believe that he's back at the table so quickly after his own mistake.
One.
He's got plenty of loose reds to go at, but just looking at the angle, if he cannons the little triangle, it would leave him on at least 3 reds. I mean, he doesn't have to play that, but it would help to stop the white there, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't cannon the little triangle of reds.
Eight.
The trick is to play the position of the balls as if it was just an ordinary match instead of the most important match of his life by far.
Nine.
I think it was said before the match started that Ali didn't get to sleep until after 3 o'clock this morning, but that won't affect him. The adrenaline keeps you going out there.
Although he did admit in his press conference last night
15.
that although he felt he had ample physical energy,
16.
he was tired mentally. But he seems fresh enough at the moment.
No, he's pretty straight on this red, so
23.
it's a similar shot to the one that he played when he just dug down too deep and went over it. But as I say, it's a very rare
24.
thing to happen with the top professionals. Occasionally you jump over the ball.
Well, this was it. A ghastly miscue. But O'Sullivan missed his first red, trying to do too much with it positionally.
Just gone slightly
31.
astray there, although we can still take the red into the middle pocket. Without the little cannon it would have been much easier. Got to be careful of the other middle pocket when he stuns across.
32.
Just the start that Ali Carter was looking for. They know each other's games so well. They've practiced on numerous occasions together. Well, where's the red going? Where's the red going?
Foul. Ali Carter 32. Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
Had the red stopped out, it was a heavy odds on that Carter was going to go on to clinch the frame at that visit.
One.
Can get over behind the two reds there to the right of the black, and it's a pretty good chance. There's only one red that's awkward.
Seven.
Where that would be to lose a frame, potting the blue and knocking a red in at the same time.
8.
It's hard enough to win frames against O'Sullivan at the best of times, but Carter has had two chances. One came to an end through his own fault.
15.
The second through bad luck. It'll be a psychological setback if O'Sullivan were to clear up here.
$16.
Now the difficult red, you usually play to move that from the pink.
23.
It's the easiest colour to get to. Now let's see how he plays this shot as to whether he leaves the angle. No, he's going to play for the black, but
24.
it'll be black, then the red, and then the angle to move the difficult one. They play for the black now though, so he's got to get a good angle on the black
30.
to give himself a chance to move that red. Yeah, this was, I think he played to cannon the pink, so he was unlucky to hit the reds and make a 3-ball plant. Very unlucky there.
$31.
Has he gone too far? He may have to drop in behind it if it's not a natural angle to cannon it out.
It was a natural angle, but he didn't clip the red
38.
quite as intended. Too thick.
Yeah, it's better to hit it like that from behind, isn't it? Then you're going to push it out into the middle of the table.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 38.
38 and a very good safety. O'Sullivan right back in the frame.
He'd love to hit this from behind if he could. He'd settle to hit the red, but I don't know if the middle pocket's in the way. I think if he just misses the middle pocket, that is available to him. If he goes the other side, it's much more difficult. The black's slightly in the way if he goes the left side of the table. I think he can make the angle if he goes close to the middle pocket, but now he's looking at twice across the table. Well, that's much more difficult. Now this would be some shot if he could just land on the red off 2 cushions, because if he hits it at any pace, he'll leave it on. That's nearer the black, I think.
Foul. And a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
I think it's worth a go off the right side of the table.
Sorry, Alan. Let's have a look at that then. Is your chalk mark in?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie? I think it might actually be just a
Was it?
tilt that way.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. I don't think it's that chalk mark.
Yeah, Ronnie's just having a look. There should be a little chalk mark there, but
Couldn't go off there.
Let's have a look at this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie?
well, he's going to try twice across again. Well, he's trying in this shot. He's trying to wobble this in the jaws of the pocket and come across. If he gets this, it'll bring the house down. What a shot! And he's got a snooker back, has he? What an escape that was. He hasn't got the snooker, but what a shot.
Carter decided that the one cushion was too difficult, so was the two cushion, and used that very unusual method, jaws of the corner pocket, to hit the red and hope it ran safe, which it did.
Now where's the red going? And where's the cue ball going? He's left a long straight red, and Ronnie's got absolutely nothing to do with the cue ball. He'll be on a ball colour. Good chance now. Well, you'd have to say to pinch this opening frame.
1.
Ali Carter was virtually over the line until that unexpected plant went in when he potted the blue.
3.
So he was a bit unlucky.
5.
Oh, he's overscrewed that. Can he reach this? No. Should be okay, but you want to make it as easy as possible.
Eight.
O'Sullivan needs to clear only up to the pink.
$12. $17.
Carter was in twice, but didn't make enough. The first time it was his own fault. The second time it was bad luck. 1-0 to O'Sullivan.
Yes, and a competitive opening frame bodes well for the rest of this final. Steve, John, it's worth comparing the records, the head-to-head statistics between these two men, because it doesn't paint a very pretty picture from Ali Carter's standpoint, does it, John?
No, 8-0. There's 3 of those I think were 5-4s, final frame deciders, but one of them, the last time, I think when he played in Ireland, was an unbelievable session, because I think Ronnie made a 147 and 4 centuries in it. So that was a serious session of snooker.
First time that 5 centuries had been achieved in a best-of-9 match. Does it matter, from Ali Carter's perspective, as the underdog, to remember these things?
It can matter, yes. It can be a mental scar that's a hurdle that you can't get over. On the other hand, look back to the '85 final, me and Dennis. I've beaten Dennis a number of times, you know, in the years beforehand. Didn't stop Dennis on the day going, right, well, I can win this, I'm playing well. And in a way, perhaps with a little nothing to lose mentality as well, raised his game for the big occasion, as we all try to do. But you want to get off to a good start as well. I'm not saying Dennis did, but you want to get off to a good start. Yeah. And that first frame, when you look back over a match, sometimes you go, oh, if I'd only have got converted the first frame, it could have been so different. Not good for Ali to have had 2 chances and it didn't go right.
A little unlucky, of course, with the one off the blue where he opened the reds up. That's what you don't need to have a start against a Sullivan. But had a little bit of everything in that frame. It was a real good opener. OK,
back to frame 2, and I'm sure Dennis is absolutely delighted at the mere mention of the '85 final, aren't you, Dennis?
Well, especially when the great man himself mentions it. I love it. He's unlucky, but I think the pink might possibly go, but that was a good long pot. It must be very, very tight. But when he starts knocking the long ones in, Clive, you've got to watch out. There's a rocket about.
Yes, that's the time to worry, because his long potting has been the most suspect part of his game. I remember here last year, he said, oh, if you can't knock the long ones, then it's like losing your serve at tennis.
8.
But if you do knock them in, then it can frequently get you in for a substantial or even frame-winning break.
What I've been most impressed with Ronnie O'Sullivan this year's World Championship is his focus throughout the 17 days. Occasionally he tends to lose it, but he's been fully focused and he's been relaxed around the venue, up in the players' lounge.
I think those words, Dennis, are true of most of the season. Very happy in his domestic life.
23.
With his partner and their 2 children.
24.
Loves his running. Very little sign that we can spot of those depressions which have plagued him sporadically.
He refused to go into them there. They weren't a good bunch to go into. Now let's see how he plays this red. They're a better bunch to go into from the blue, so don't be surprised if he doesn't go back for the blue. No, he's staying on the black.
32.
He's got to get this absolutely right. He's missed the cannon. He was trying to just catch the end red. There was one that would have been available.
39.
So try to just pick one off there instead of going into the difficult bunch.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 39.
Well, he's left the red, but pink's tied up. Black's near the cushion. almost straight in the red. The way he plays this type of shot, he might even get back for the blue, believe it or not, with the cue power and cue action he has.
1. Six. 7.
If I do myself justice, the results will take care of themselves. O'Sullivan said a few days ago, and he certainly looks as if he's going to do himself justice. Very clever. Made sure that he cannoned the pink
12.
just on the left-hand side. Brings the pink into play. Was sure by playing it softly to stay on a red.
Well, he's flying again. He looks in the form that he showed against Stephen Hendry, who went for a bite to eat after Stephen's match. He went out with Stephen, his father Gordon, and his son Blaine, John Virgo, Cliff Thornton, myself. And Stephen said that no one had ever played against him the way Ronnie did in that session. He said he'd just never seen a ball, and Ronnie never missed when he got in.
Hendry also said he's a great front runner. If you let him get in front, he'll bury you.
$24.
Full house at the Crucible. It really does have a unique ambience. Within a red and a colour of clinching a 2-0 lead.
25.
Carter had fleeting opportunities in the first frame. Hasn't had any in this.
30. 31. 35. 36.
Spread over 17 days. You have to win 71 frames to win the title. O'Sullivan so far has won 53, lost 25.
41.
Carter's score 53-37.
42. 48. 49.
Look at that beautiful positional shot played with the opposite hand there. I think people at times don't realise Ronnie's done it because he just gets down and plays it as if he was playing with his right hand. There's no difference really. He looks
55.
the same virtually.
56.
One odd thing about O'Sullivan, when he's eating, he holds his knife in his left hand.
$61. 63.
The air of total certainty with which O'Sullivan has compiled this break
66.
looks very ominous for Carter.
70. 75. 81. 88. And a frame.
Breaks of
Ronnie
39
O'Sullivan.
and 88 from O'Sullivan in that frame. He leads by 2 frames to 0.
Not the start Ali Carter would have wanted. Terry Griffiths is Ali's mentor, coach. You look after him. You've been working with him for how long, Terry? About 3 seasons, is it?
Yes, about 3 seasons. Yes, it all takes a little bit of time, but I think the big move for Ali was last year when he got in the top 16 for the first time. That gives him a bit more self-belief, and well, he's carried it forward this year, hasn't he? He's played it really well here.
You must be very proud what he's achieved during this championship.
It's very, very special to be part of it. To be honest, you only got a small part to play, but to see him go out there and be introduced in the world final is just something very special for me. And let's hope he carries on the good work out there today.
Now, you know a lot of the players. You work with Stephen Hendry, Mark Williams, Ali Carter. They all have very different personalities and characters. Just share with us what Ali's like, please.
He's a very easygoing lad, very thoughtful boy. Very keen. Obviously, he's a bit disappointed he hasn't done better in his career to date, but it's all coming together now, and I always say the same: you keep at it, keep working hard, keep having belief, and you can get to the top of the mountain.
How did he feel going into this match? Because Ronnie has played terrifically well, and Ali was telling me he couldn't get to sleep last night till gone 3 o'clock. No surprise.
No, he hasn't slept a lot, but I mean that's part and parcel of the crucible, and it's new to him, to be fair, but I mean he's realising now that every session you go out there the pressure's on you. There's no time to relax, not winning a few rounds and then feel great, oh, I'm in the quarter-final and all this, I'm in the final. No. When you go out there, the fire's straight in your face, and he's handled it very well.
Yeah, he has to have self-belief, because as good as Ronnie is, if Ali doesn't go out there thinking, I can beat the Rocket, there's no point going out there at all.
No, and that belief comes through his results and performances like Ali's done this week. You know, 10-9 against Hawkins, pulled off at 9-all, then you had to play Sean Murphy, #1 provisionally in the rankings, then Ebden, who was a test for everybody, and then that great match with Joe Perry last night. That's where you build your inner strength from, that you need out there at times when things don't go your way.
So first 2 frames have gone the wrong way. He has to just steel himself and say, I'll get going now, I'll get going now.
Secret is don't panic. Whether you're in front or behind, you don't panic. You just play the game, shot at a time, and off to go, and let's see what happens after 4 frames.
Terry, thanks. It's great that you're in his corner. I know he'll be appreciative of that.
Carter also said that the secret of, or one of the secrets of his transformation this last fortnight is that he's not been beating himself up in his chair after making a mistake. He's been much better at letting it go and concentrating on the next shot.
Well, let's see if he can knock a long red in here to get himself going. It's a difficult one, but he's got to make something happen because he's not getting a chance. He did in the opening frame, but that second frame he couldn't do anything about that, so he's looked at the pot. There's no easy safety shot on, so you might as well have a go at it, Ali, and this would be a confidence booster. Just cued across it slightly, and he wouldn't have cannoned into the reds had he have made the correct contact. I'm not sure if the black pots, Ali will be a little bit anxious to know if it does. Ronnie's had a look at it, it must be tight. Pink's obviously available. He's looking at the black again there. You'd think it would be easier to play on the pink here and leave that for a few shots time.
1.
Already looking at the one to the right of the black, if he could get on it and get it out of the way. Clears the black. And that looks to be just about perfect.
7.
And this already is a very good chance again for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
8.
And may go into the bunch here because there's a few reds available. So he'll risk bringing a few more into play.
15.
Nobody better than O'Sullivan at opening a bunch of reds and retaining position.
$16.
And that's Damien Hirst, the artist.
And this is Ronnie O'Sullivan, the artist you're watching.
23.
One artist watching another great artist.
$24.
It's inch perfect, Dennis. Well, where did they get those t-shirts from? Nice one, boys.
Well, somebody listens to you anyway, Dennis.
31.
I'm just glad they managed to get them. I had them
32.
made for them yesterday. But this is fantastic here, watching Ronnie O'Sullivan like this. You can't do anything about it. You've got to just sit in your seat and admire this, as Ali has done on many occasions
39.
in practice. He doesn't want to be doing it here, but
40.
it's amazing, really.
When they met in the Northern Ireland Trophy in November, O'Sullivan won 5-2 and made 5 centuries, which is an unsurpassable record
47.
for a best of 9.
He does like a record, our Ronnie.
$48. $54.
And there'll be
55.
someone upstairs in the Players' Lounge enjoying this. Frank Adamson, who's been working with Ronnie. Used to work with Stephen Lee. Perfect gentleman, and he'll be delighted to see this performance.
62. 63. $70. 71.
That's already enough for 3-0. Carter hasn't putted a ball for 27 minutes. And he's only had one long pot to go at in that period.
78.
Well, the last frame only lasted just over 10 minutes.
84.
This one just coming up to 8 minutes.
85. 91.
You could say, Clive, the rocket has lifted off.
Just missed the cannon.
If the white keeps running, he's snookered. He could have played the double. Maybe he can still try it.
The 62nd century of the tour will have to wait. The break of 99 extends O'Sullivan's lead to 3-0. It's already looking very ominous for Carter. And as so often is the case with a big break from O'Sullivan, the secret lay in how he opened the bunch while retaining position.
Yeah, there's 3 reds available, but the one that's next to the black was the one that Ronnie decided then, I've got to go into them here because that red's available, but he's the best in the business at this type of shot. That's roughly where he's striking the cue ball, right-hand side, down in the bottom, and he creates the spin. You'll see the white. When he goes into the pack, it stops and then it spins again. Now just watch how it stops here, and then it spins back a second time. And we'll show you on this angle exactly the white. It arcs round and then spins back again, and he's one of the best in the business at that type of shot.
Ali Carter to break.
Well, it is warm in the crucible, as I mentioned. It's pretty mild outside, but it's hot inside. And Ronnie immediately going for this long red.
Well, just for a moment, the machine malfunctions, albeit at distance. Carter's first pot.
1.
For half an hour.
Very early days in this final, but mid-session interval coming up after this one. 3-1. Ali wouldn't be too concerned because he knows that he could have taken the first frame also. But this is important for him to get one frame on the board.
6. $11. 12.
just about okay. He can play for the two reds that are near the black.
$17. $18. $25. $26.
Now this is important. He doesn't want to hit the red at the back of the bunch full ball, otherwise he'll stick on it. So it's important that he just avoids that.
$33.
Well, he did just flick it, but it turned out okay.
$34.
Now there is a red he can play on. If he pots the blue, he can get up for a red there that's to the left in the back of the bunch. Depending on the angle he has on the blue, he might be able to get to the end of the line there. If it's not straightish, he may have to use the cushion, but that's where he'd like to get anyway. Played it well.
$39.
In fact, he's left a choice of reds. There's another one available to him after this. Although it's a bit tighter, the one you can see there,
40.
but he's straight on the black and he should be able to get back onto it. Well, he's played for the one the other side. He doesn't want to go too close to the cushion.
47.
Very good response from Ali Carter here. Now, can he keep it going?
$48.
Coming around to have a look at that red. Yeah, he's got a delicate little stun shot somewhere along the line. We'll leave that one. He doesn't want to risk going into them.
$55.
And when you think how well Ronnie has played, Clive, it could quite easily have been 2 each, you know. I'm sure he's going to convert this chance here.
56.
Very calm, very cool so far, but not absolutely ideal.
Now he's made it difficult now to hold for these reds. He's going to have to run away from them. Now, what's the pace like? It looks a little bit too hard, is it? It needs to pull up. Yeah, well played.
63. Yep.
So, just this red, and a colour of reasonable value. And Carter will be getting off the mark.
Yeah, he needs to leave himself on the brown here, doesn't he? Because if he screws back up, the pink and the blue are awkward. But the brown would do. That would put him 68 in front with
64.
Just possible 67 left on the table. So well done to Ali Carter.
$68. $69.
And he might have a chance of a century break if he can pot the pink and cannon the 4 reds. He could put them all on here. Well played.
$75. $76.
This would be the 81st century of his 12-year professional career. A career which had never previously led to him appearing
82.
in a final and only 2 semis.
83.
And in pursuit also of the 62nd
90.
century of the tournament,
91.
bearing in mind that the record is 68.
I'll tell you what, Clive, the second frame just over 10 minutes, third frame just over 9 minutes. This
97.
at 9.5 minutes so far.
98.
It's terrific stuff, isn't it? What a start to this year's World Final. Couldn't screw back there because of the in-off, but he's got the century.
104. Ali Carter, 104.
Ali Carter impressively off the mark with that break of 104. But Ronnie O'Sullivan leads by 3 frames to 1 at the mid-session interval.